Guys, and welcome back. And in today's video we're doing my top 10 favorite roller coasters that I've ridden. So before we get on number 10, I'm gonna do some honorable mentions. The first one is Diamondback at Kings Island, the Beast at Kings Island, and Maverick at Cedar Point. I think Mavericks is extremely overrated, and I think the restraints for me make the ride. In the Beast, I don't really have any complaints, but the ones on my top 10 are that good. And same thing with Diamondback. So for number 10 is Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. And I read this a long time ago, so I don't remember everything. And this is the only one at Canada's Wonderland on this list, so I don't remember anything. But I remember getting off that ride, being shocked, and getting my fast pass to get the picture first thing as soon as I got off. Number 9 is Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. I really like the curved drop in the first element, how it goes up, and it has my favorite element on any coaster, a trick track double up, and I really like how you watch the cutscene movie thing in the shed. Number 8 is Top Thrill Dragster at my home park, Cedar Point. I really like how tall this is, and the launch is really intense, and going down the second drop I like how it's curved, but the downside is it's really short, but besides that, it's a good ride. Number 7 is Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. I really liked this ride, and the airtime was crazy. And Morgan fixed this ride up after it had inversions from when Arrow built it, and they replaced that with airtime moments and bank turns. So the airtime's crazy, and it's unique that what makes it a hyper coaster is the second drop that is bigger than the first at, pretty sure, 221 feet. I'm probably wrong, but yeah. So number 6 on my list is Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point. When I was younger, this used to be my favorite coaster, and I loved it, but I still have no complaints, and I still really like it, and I like how it's tall, fast, and the restraints usually hurt people's thighs, but it doesn't hurt my thighs at all, and that's usually the downside for this ride, and that doesn't happen to me, so it's a good ride. Number 5 is Millennium Force, and this Magnum would be above this, but the last 2 times I've ridden Millennium Force was in the back row, which was absolutely crazy down the first drop, which I'm pretty sure the reason why this is Millennium Force is above Magnum on my list is because of the first drop in the back. But besides that, the airtime's okay, and the outer bank turns are fun enough, and I like the tunnels. And yeah. So number 4 is Intimidator 305 at Kings Dominion. I went into this roller coaster unknowing that it was so intense. So the first time I rid it, I didn't really like it because I didn't like how intense it was. But the more I rode it, I started liking it. And this ride probably would be above my number 3 coaster if the restraints were a little better. I don't like the restraints on Intimidator and Maverick. They both dig into my thighs. Number 3 is Twisted Timbers at the same park, Kings Dominion. This was my second RMC after Steel Vengeance, which we'll get to later. But besides that, that airtime's crazy with the 3 Camelback airtime hills. And this has 3 inversions, and the barrel roll drops really good. And we were at Carowinds, and I didn't know that the hurler at Carowinds was a clone of the one that got RMC'd for Twisted Timbers. So that's Twisted Timbers is a really good ride, and I wish I could stay on it my whole life. But the two rides above it are just so good, I'd rather ride them better. Number 2 is Fury 325 at Carowinds. Speaking of Carowinds, Fury is right next to the Hurler. So, besides that, its ride's really good. It's tall, it's fast, steep, lots of airtime, and it has that weird treble clef turnaround going into the tunnel, which is really cool. And it's the longest steel coaster, I'm pretty sure, in North America. And I'm pretty sure it's the tallest roller coaster in the world with a chain lift. So that's a really good ride, and I could ride it as much as I want. And number 1 is, no surprise, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. This ride's so good. I like that before the ride even starts, before you go up the chain hill, you even get airtime on the first 2 hills. But it's cool 90-degree drop, cool outer bank turn, cool upwards inversion, and I like how they didn't have much room to work with that second element, so it had to be really tight, which makes it intense. And that has another inversion in the tunnel, which if you turn your head a certain way, it looks like all the wood's gonna hit your head, which is really good. And I'm pretty sure it has a wave turn, which I really like, and followed by a barrel roll. So that's pretty cool. And then at the end is a series of 6 hills that give crazy ejector airtime, and I really like that. So if you made it to the end of the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.